The long and short of it, written by Bobbles, Chapter 27. Back when Annan was giving her the brushing of a lifetime, Nocturnal Pipe was able to ignore that voice in her head. Sure, her cold was pattering over the spa day, but it wasn't that unmerrily. She was just getting clean. Now, though, the tub had been drained, and she was lying on the couch, with multiple towels wrapped around her. He'd even put a mud mask on her face. Geez, all I'm missing is the cucumbers over my eyes, and I'd be the spitting image of every cold I've ever seen at the spa, which was painfully and merrily. But oh, so very relaxing. She'd never felt so clean. Oh Nair, if any pony other than Annan saw me now, thank Luna no one will. Sorry, there's no cucumber for your eyes, Annan said as he walked over to her, but the one that it came with smelled suspicious, and I don't trust that Quickwood didn't do something to it. Pipe chuckled sarcastically. What, like shove it up her cunt? Annan laughed, but the look on his face told her it was less absurd than he'd like. Either way, I threw that shit away. Now, time for your pedicure. A pedicure? Nair, what will my guard's mouse say? Pipe shrunk in on herself a bit. Do we have to do that? He looked between her and the file he'd pulled out. I mean, do you not want to? I've never done something like this before, so if you want we can just skip to the tough oil and stuff like that. It'd be better to just skip that part and move on. So what if it would probably feel nice? That was no reason to sign away her pride like that. She'd never really done more than basic Hefkino, so it would probably feel really nice. No, just say, no. Pipe getting a pedicure is the opposite of merrily. Just say, no actually, gee, go ahead and do it. And shrugged, completely unaware of the screaming inside her head. Sounds good to me. No. We should stop. But now he's already started filing, might as well just let him finish this one, right? Yeah. Pipe settled on her plan of action. She'd let him do this one, and then after that she'd tell him to stop. Might as well prepare herself too. So Pike, I've been thinking, and I think we should talk about this. Her eyes widened a touch. Normally, a cold saying something like that would send cold panic through her veins. But in light of recent events and conversations about hurting, as he continued to smooth out her hoof. Well, what about it? He stopped briefly, likely surprised that she hadn't opted to take the lead in the conversation. After some thought, and tapping the file against his head a few times, he figured out what he wanted to say and resumed the pedicure. I guess, what happens to you in all this? You've thrown out the phrase alpha quite a few times, but what does that actually mean? Ooh, that was a good question. And, thankfully for her, an easy one. An alpha is the guiding hoof of the herd. The leader, more or less. He looked kind of surprised by that. Oh really? He said as he adjusted the file. I would have assumed the stallion would be, being the linchpin and all that. Got a loud laugh out of her. Huh. No offense, Annan, but most stallions are much too whimsical to be hooked that kind of power. It's with no small amount of pride that she said that, because, even though every mare knew it, 99.99% of stallions would flip if she told them that. Not Annan though. His gaze just turned incredulous. Really? Before she could respond to that, he seemed to realize something. Actually, yeah, considering they act like living stereotypes, I can see it. A stallion finally admitted it. Although he is from another dimension, so does it really count? Pipe put those thoughts aside for later. The stallion also isn't, or I guess I should say shouldn't, be the linchpin in a healthy herd. Every pony cares for each other. It's not just a bunch of mares tied to the one stallion. And inside, seemingly genuinely relieved. Okay, that's good. Because honestly I don't think I could maintain more than one relationship like that if it were all up to me. Oh goodness gracious, why would he think that? Stars no. I don't think any pony could handle that on their own. As she said that, he finished working on her first forehead. She hooked him the next one without even thinking. So if you're in charge, where does that leave me? Nair, that's kind of a tough one. She frowned and furrowed her brow, trying to figure out how to best explain it to some pony with no experience with it. Think about it this way. Say, we as a herd were going somewhere. My job would be to lead the herd there. Your job would be to make sure no one gets left behind along the way. His eyes lit up in understanding and he nodded his head. Okay, I think I see what you mean. The two of them lapsed into silence after that. Annan was clearly mulling over what she'd said, and she was content to let him mull. As they lay there in silence though, Pipe couldn't help but notice how good her hoof felt. It seemed her earlier guess was spot on, allowing Annan to give her hooves that extra TLC. Went the extra mile. Aches and pains she'd grown so accustomed to that she hardly even noticed them were gone. Worth a day and done. Annan declared as he pulled the file away. Lifting her forehead to her face, Pipe gave them a closer look. As expected, they looked painfully colty. But they felt great. You know, Enon, you might have a future as a spot pony. He smiled smugly, blowing hoop shavings off the file. Oh really? You wouldn't get jealous at the thought of me brushing other mares all day? She returned the smile with equal smugness, motioning him to begin working on one of her hind hooves. I'm sure the castle could come for daily de-stressing trips. Plus, maybe you'd meet a nice mare while you're working and stuck out his tongue like he'd just eaten something foul. Ew, don't say shit like that. Makes you sound like you're my mom. What? Pipe made no attempt to hold her disbelieving laughter in. A mother, telling our son to go out and try to meet some mares. Luna above, whenever her brothers ever brought a mare home, her moms looked like they were going to bite his head off. Her dad on the other hoof, haha. You know, that is the sort of thing my dad would say. She said it before she realized exactly what it meant. While it was true, that really was something her dad would say to her. And admitting it meant she admitted that she was talking like her dad. That killed her laughter nearly instantly. Ooh, yeah, on second thought I'm never saying that again. He let out his nigger. So, you're looking forward to being an alpha? Pike attempted to puff out her chest, but the motion didn't really work since she was lying down. Of course. As the Morelliest mare around, it's my domestic calling. Oh wait, he asked, surprised, you don't just get the position by nature of being the first. Pike waved her hoop dismissively. Oh no. The alpha can be a mare who joins at any point. The only requirement for the alpha is that she is the one most willing to lead. AKA the Morelliest. AKA, not the kind of mare who gets a pedicure from a stallion. M.E.N. seemingly oblivious to the painful irony, nodded. Makes sense to me. I can't think of a mare Morellier than you, Pike. You're so Morelli you do more domestic jobs than he does. Alright, seemingly oblivious to her turmoil, and then spoke up again. Oh, yeah. I just remembered, Cod was saying you were talking about helping her be more Morelli. Yeah right, like you, the mare who just spent the day being pampered with an inch-home spot kit meant for colts, could teach some pony about being Morelli. Why yeah. She seems like she could use the help. He smiled earnestly. I think that's really swell of you. Honestly, by the sound of it, you'd make a good alpha. No you wouldn't. An alpha is a position reserved for real mares. Thanks. By that point, he picked up the wavering in her voice and looked up from her hoop with concern. You alright, Anne? She wanted to say something, but, what, are you going to cry while he's giving you a pedicure? To think you call yourself a mare. I'm fine. It was as clear as day. He didn't believe her, but he conceded. Alright, Pike. Just remember, the fact I was an alien eventually came out. Whatever you don't want to talk about will come out one day too. Is right. Maybe I should just, no. He was willing to accept you being submissive in the bedroom, but this. Admitting you like being a little domestic. Admitting you don't like being a macho mare 24/7. Admitting that makes you a fraud. A fake. Not a real mare. Shut up, thoughts. It was only by the grace of all her years of training and lying that she was able to keep that internal debate off her face. It's fine. I'll tell you later. He shook his head disapprovingly. You better. Don't let it eat you up inside. He's right. Quick. Change the subject. So. About Cut. How have you enjoyed having her around? And hey, it worked. The change in topic was so abrupt and jarring that it totally crashed Annette's train of thought. It crashed so hard, in fact, that his magic dropped the file. Oh, it's nice. I like it. Pike's eyes widened a touch. He just hooked her the perfect opportunity to make the sale. Huh. Take that, inner voice. If I wasn't a real mare, could I do this? And the stuff we did together, how do you like that? He hummed for a moment. You mean normal hangout stuff? Well, I guess she's also been helping out around the house. And snuggling. It's working. Just a little more. She fought to control her grin. Errand? Wouldn't you like to do that every night? She could feel how much her offer was tempting him. Well, I wouldn't mind it. Pike's smile turned smug. She didn't say anything though. This was something he had to decide on his own. Ain't with it in mind, now that I understand the idea of hurting better, his statement tailed off, and he took a deep, nervous breath. I think I'd be open to trying woo-hoo. With an unsuppressible, she leapt off the couch in joy, wrapping her hooves around his head in a hug. Yes. Oh, you won't regret this, Enon. What do you want to do first? Got to a fancy dinner? Go out to see a show? Minesweeper. MMMFFMMMHRMMFRM, what? Oh, right. He couldn't talk with his face mashed into her tuft. Whoops. Hopping off his face, she let him breathe once again. There was a deep blush on his face, which put one on hers as well. Clearly, that moment he just spent amidst her tuft scent was having an effect on him. Wow, that shampoo smells great. I mean, let's just have her over and hang out again. As something low-key, for her, right? This is cut we're talking about. Better to start small, right? Right. I'll leave the day and time up to you. Your first task as a herd stallion. Regaining a bit of control over his faculties, he straightened up. Right. Sounds easy enough. After that he turned his attention to the forgotten file. Well, now that that's settled, want me to finish up your pedicure? Oof, that put a damper on her mood. A real mare would say no. Boot, the hooves he trimmed did feel really good, and she was officially an alpha now. Sure, Pike was an alpha who liked getting pampered, but did that really make a difference in the long run? After all, being an alpha was more pivotal to being a merely mare than getting her hooves done one time. Yeah, she'd get a pedicure, just this once. It almost certainly wouldn't be just this once. With a reserved smile on her face, she answered. Sure, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed